We Are So Not Straight would like to acknowledge that the recording of this podcast takes place on the unceded traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. Welcome to We Are So Not Straight,
the podcast where two drag sisters talk about everything curvy, swervy, and crooked.
We are your hosts, Michaela
and DJ,
and we are so happy you're tuning in. I don't know how that sounded.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
This is the point it's gotten to. We're just like, whatever works, it works.
We both said it. It came out of our mouths, and therefore, here we are.
We are so happy to be back with another episode of Season 2.
Yes, but before we get into that, we just want to clarify a couple of things.
First off, we are not here to judge anyone on their drag.
Yes, drag is a form of art, and all art is valid.
Second of all opinions stated on this podcast are ours and ours alone.
Yep, just ours. Period. Just point blank, period.
And maybe some of Twitter's. No, I'm kidding.
No, you say that every time, and no. We have a really jam-packed episode for you guys. We got to interview one of my favorite people on this earth, Esmerelduhhh, also known as Janaya Jones. That's her actual name, but their actual name is Janaya Jones, but we know them as Ez or Esmerelduhhh. But yeah, exactly. And they're an actor and singer performer in the California area who is a really interesting person to talk to and has a lot of really cool stuff to say. So stay tuned for that. Also, just note, DJ was not there for the interview, so you will be seeing Nathaniel's beautiful face pop up because Nathaniel
beautiful
came and covered.
A strong word.
I love our drag sister, okay? And I was very happy. You have to say, DJ, you have to understand that I was left with what? Not even an hour's notice.
So this is the tea. We were scheduling, right? As we always do.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, that time should work, right? I pulled up my therapy schedule on my computer, and I'm a glasses wearer. And I wasn't wearing my glasses. So, being the blind ass bitch that I am, who can't even see 3 feet away from me, the 4 turned into a 6. And I blame Google Docs for tiny print. But yeah, I misread my therapy schedule, so I was on my way to therapy, and Michaela was like, hey, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so yes, therapy is very important, and this is your daily check-in to make sure that you are taking your meds and taking care of yourself.
Drink water.
So drink water, do all those things. But yes, DJ had a therapy appointment that could not be changed because it was a last-minute moment. So you will see Nathaniel's beautiful face pop up in the interview with Ez. But it's a great interview, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. But we do have something else that we have to get to, which I will pass to DJ to talk about. Go ahead.
So we are going to talk about our first annual Drag Race Fantasy Draft.
Draft.
There it is. We still have 7 queens left.
Yep.
7 queens.
7.
We're never gonna get to this finale.
Nope.
I love all the competitors, but I feel like they casted too many.
I can get with that for sure. But we've had a history of that. We've had a history of that in the shows that we like, so.
But because the shows we always eliminate always eliminate groups of people.
Go back to our first episode of season 1 to hear DJ and I talk about how annoyed we were with the casting of Call Me Mother being so many people, but that's for another time.
And them eliminating said people who were
exactly.
So
but you can go back and listen
incredible.
To us talk about that. Actually, we probably talked about it in almost every episode, so go check those out if you want to hear how annoyed we were about that. But that's it. Yeah, I feel the same way. There was too many people.
Okay, so let's get into the score. One of them has a really funny score. Okay, so Sasha Colby is, I told y'all I'm blind, is currently with a score of 38. Lux Noor London has a score of 32. My last lone survivor, Mistress Isabel Brooks, has a score of 36. Anitra has a score of 35. Marsha shockingly has a score of 38. Lucy LaDuca also shockingly has a score of 38. And Selena has a score of 1. Let's get into the draft scores. So, Nathaniel Minks is in the lead with a score of 90.
Yep.
Team Trouble is 6 points behind with a score of 84.
I just keep slowly moving, like, more and more behind Nathaniel. I started with, like, 1 behind. Do you feel? Now I was 4 behind. Now I'm 6 behind.
I'm literally in 3rd. Shut up. Team Lilith is in 3rd place with a score of 66, almost the devil's number. And Team Joey and Connor are taking it up the rear with a score of 62.
You also didn't say who went home.
Oh, well, I mean, it's better. People can click off or whatever. So, the person we lost last week was, spoiler warning, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We lost Malaysia Baby Doll Fox. I kind of don't agree.
No? Who do you think should have gone?
Selena.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it.
You can only be in the bottom so many times, and, like, Malaysia's outfit was just stronger for me. I got Beyonce from Malaysia's outfit.
That's fair.
Anyway, let's get into our main segment of the podcast, which is that lovely little interview.
Yes, please enjoy our interview with the one and only Esmerelduhhh. All right, everybody, I am so excited for this segment of Let Me Introduce You, because we have one of the most incredible people that I've ever heard sing in my entire life. You know, just a little slay here, but I'm so excited for you guys to meet Janaya Jones, also known as Esmerelduhhh.
Hey, everybody, what's going on?
Hi. Hello, you legend.
Also, I was about to say, you're just going to notice that Nathaniel is back again. We had a scheduling issue with, like a rash. But we had a scheduling issue with DJ, and unfortunately, he was unable to be here. But we are very lucky to have Nathaniel coming and covering for us. So,
anytime.
Yay for that. Very excited. But I am very excited to have you on the podcast, as for everybody's information, I'm going to call them as the entire time. So just please be aware of this because that's how I know them. So that's how it's going to work.
That are like, cool, what's going on? Why are you calling them as? I stream on Twitch, and that is my username on pretty much all social media platforms. So anybody that knows me through Twitch knows me as or Esmeralduhhh or whatever. But then people that know me in the actor world know me as Janaya or Jay. So I have a variety of names.
Exactly. So I'm going to call them as the entire time. So fair warning for everybody. But as I am so excited to have you on the podcast, I messaged you a couple of weeks ago being like, I really want you on the podcast. Please come on the podcast.
Yeah, no, I'm happy
I'm so excited that we got it to work.
I'm happy I had the time to spend on it, because with school and the show and everything else that comes in the world, I'm just like, okay, do I have like 45 minutes to an hour to accommodate? I think so, maybe.
You are booked and blessed, and every time that I see you, you're always like on whatever part of the country you were in last time, you are now on the opposite side. You somehow are balancing school. You somehow are balancing streams. Like, I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how
It's seriously true.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Like, legit. No, we literally, like Nathaniel was saying, like, you'll be on, like, one side of the world. We're all like, wait, what, huh? How did that happen?
And then all of a sudden you're in a show with Jackie Fox. Like, it's just...
Yeah, exactly. Like, Oh my gosh, when that happened, I messaged Ez. I was like, you're in a show with Jackie Cox. I'm gonna lose my mind. I was like losing it. I was having a great time.
Yeah,
so
it was
funny. But we will get
absolutely
into that.
perfect. Yeah,
so.
I was Jackie's understudy, and it was
Yes.
I just messaged her today because I was like, this queerties look that you gave, this lime green, I'm here for it. This is your color. Thank you. Goodbye.
Everything.
Thank you. Goodbye. Yeah. We're done with that. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. All right. So for people who don't know you, can you give us a little bit of your background and just like how you got into doing theater, but also how you got into doing Twitch?
Sure, absolutely. So for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Janaya Jones, aka Janaya Mahayalani Jones, which is my full actor's name. I started performing when I was, like 23 years old. So back in 2016 was when I like started my professional acting career. But I went to school for it. I got my degree, BFA, all of that fun stuff. But I didn't start doing full-time professional work until about 2018. So from the 2016 to 2018 time, I was a barista at Starbucks. I worked as like a stage manager or an office worker or anything like that, any side jobs or what we call mobile jobs in the world. I would always jump in and do those. But now I am a full-time performer and content creator. And as far as Twitch went, I actually started Twitch on a whim during the pandemic. I was looking for something to do that I can incorporate my love for video games with also my love of performing. And I realized that my good friend Cass, aka Caspar the Friendly Ghost, was also a Twitch streamer as well.
Sworn enemy.
My sworn enemy. So once I like started watching her streams and a couple of other folks, I was like, I think I can do this. I think that's possible. So I figured out what all the things I needed to get started were, and just dove head first. And it's become one of my favorite things in the world. It's a nice little counterbalance from live performance to just like get away from that for a little bit, because streaming to me doesn't feel like performance. It just feels like getting to hang out with my friends for a few hours. But yeah, for those of you who are like, who is this person? Where do they come from? I've been in various productions all across Southern California. I just made my off-Broadway debut last year in New York City, and I am a member of Team Star Kid just as a couple of years ago.
Yes!
Yeah!
Yay!
Just sprinkle the Star Kid. I love that.
I was about to say, just sprinkle the Star Kid in there.
Honestly, you are in the best way possible. You've always been out here doing the most. Like, go, like, brag all about it. Like, you deserve it. And, like, also, you just celebrated 2 years on Twitch, right? This past week.
It was officially my 2-year anniversary. On the day, I actually celebrated on the day, not 6 months later like I did last year. But yeah, at the very end of February, 2 years ago, where I decided, I was like, you know what? I think this is something that I want to get into. So in my old house, I had a like 500-foot Ethernet cord trying to get to upstairs so that I could connect it to the Ethernet cord to stream. I was still on my laptop back then. And I was like, I had a million cords connected to everything, but we made it work. We had a decent stream, and it's come so far since then.
For sure. No, definitely. I mean, I popped in on your 2-year anniversary because I was like, it's so exciting. Like, yay. Yay. Oh, so much fun.
Also, because I know that's where I was introduced to you, but I don't know if I could speak for Michaela, but is that how you got introduced to as well, Michaela? So, like, just to, like, see you from, like, all this time, like, over the past year or two that, like, we've known you and everything is just, like, I just want to say I'm really proud of you and everything. It's so great to see. Just always, like, everybody's hitting milestones left and right. Everybody's thriving right now, and I'm just really proud of you. So, congratulations.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Me too.
To have the kind of the foundation of friends that we do have on Twitch right now. Like, Cash just hit her 3-year milestone. Kayla just hit their 2-year milestone because we started around the same time, and it's just been really special to kind of see the people that I started with that were friends of mine offline before but have become even closer to me now. It's really, really special, and I'm so excited for like any more things that I can do to make my Twitch stream better and to create and cultivate a stronger community and all that kind of stuff, because that right now is where my passion lies. Although I do love musical theater, it's my root, it's my heart source. Twitch streaming has become my second love. And so I'm like, how do I make both of these things work at the same time? It's very difficult, in case you're wondering.
No, totally. Actually, I have this question later, but we've just brought up, Kayla,
Yeah.
Cass, and Ruby. So I guess we'll bring them
Sure.
up now. So I know that you are part of the Bays. Can you explain to us a little bit more about them?
Yeah. So a
please?
history of the Bays. The Bays are consisting of myself, Esmeralda, Kayla, NB Adams, Cass Father Friendly Ghost, and Ruby, aka Ruby Red. And we formed very early in my stream career because I believe Cass started it, where they were like, "Oh, I want to do Dead by Daylight streams. Do you want to join?" And we were all like, "Absolutely!" That was when we all really loved the game. Cut to, we all barely play it now. And so we just decided to like band together as a group of just silly folks, kind of creating a positive community for Dead by Daylight. Because for those of you who are gamers and who are in the community, the Dead by Daylight community is not so great sometimes. So we're trying to bring in a more positive, happy group to that. Granted, it did tilt us a lot, and it did frustrate us, and it got to a point where, because we used to do it once a week, and that was a lot of games, it was a lot of camping, it was a lot of bullying that the killers would do to us. So it got to the point where it kind of affected our mental health a lot, but we still stayed friends through it all. And we decided to like find other games that we liked that we could get into. Like we had gotten Ruby into Overwatch, and started playing with her as well. And then we just started trying to find more charity events or more just times that we get to hang out with each other. And yeah, we started to try to find new things that we could do to still remain the Bays, but also not be dedicated to just one game. Which has kind of branched us out into a lot of different things, you know, like Ruby plays a lot more story-based games now, which is great. Kayla's been playing a lot of Overwatch and Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yes, I still need to play it. I still haven't gotten it yet.
It's the best game on the planet.
I caved because it's Ian Watson was playing, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch. I was like, I'm not gonna watch because I don't want to be spoiled, whatever, and all this stuff. And then I started watching, and I was like, must get a game.
No, so
I got the game.
It is, so
and I messaged you, and I was like, you are the reason I got this game.
Yes, it's truly a blast. Like, if you have Xbox Game Pass, I would say just download it there because it's free with the Game Pass. And then
slay, okay,
yeah. And then there's supposed to be at some point this year where they're going to make it free to play across platform, but I don't know when that's supposed to be.
That's so unfair because I paid a good chunk of money for it.
I know. What the heck? I know. I felt so bad for everybody. I was like, when I saw that it was free on Game Pass, I was like, let me just go ahead and jump on here really quick. I will wait. Okay, so I have to wait to play on my computer all the time, but I'm willing to make it work. But anyway, tangent aside, I think we found a lot more things that we enjoy. Cass and I playing Genshin as well. That's another game that we both got into. But we found things that kind of brought us more peace in the gaming community. You know what I mean? So now we've also been able to, well, I won't say we've been able to because we've very unsuccessfully planned a few hangouts where we've been trying to hang out with each other. And all of our schedules are just so wonky that we just send each other pictures of our calendars. Like, calendar check, just to make sure when everybody's free.
That's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start doing that now, where I'm just like, calendar
3
check.
months from now, on September 16th, the stars have aligned.
Fun fact, I always ask Nathaniel, I'm like, Nathaniel, can you give me your schedule? Because I never know when you work, and I want to know your schedule. Okay? This is the conversation. Nathaniel, how many times have you actually sent me your schedule?
0.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I literally have it. My planner's right here. Literally add my schedule for the week because I posted it yesterday and I still haven't done it yet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what I normally do is like I have a whiteboard right at my door. And every week when I come home from the show, I will erase the week and then move everything up. And then I'll send it to, we have our little Baycord text message group chat or whatever, and I'll send it to them and just be like, calendar check. So I stay, like, I keep myself accountable, and then slowly but surely everyone will start to send theirs.
Wait, I love that.
Yeah, it's the best way to keep each other in check. Like, Kayla doesn't send theirs often, but I do know their schedule pretty well, just of being like, oh, this is when they normally are off, so I think we can make it happen. And then if I do have to ask them a question, I'll just like add them in the group chat.
Yeah.
Slay.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say one of my favorite streams that the Bays did, which was one of the charity streams, was the karaoke stream.
That was my
you
favorite
guys-
too. That was
Oh
favorite
my
too.
gosh. Literally my favorite. Also, fun fact about this, Ez wore a frog hat the entire time, and I
Frog hat
commented on it
stage
probably
director.
about 20 times. I was like, look at the frog hat. I love the frog hat. Oh my gosh, the frog hat. Like, I was so in the chat at that point. I was living for the frog
It was the best.
hat.
I got it from a friend for my birthday last year or two. No, it had to have been last year. And it is the best. It's like my little personality quirk now. I don't wear it as often just because I'm always at the shows. But like this is my normal go-to show outfit, sweatshirt, hat, whatever, just because I have to change into a costume later. But that hat brings me so much joy. So when I get my
it brings me joy too.
Yeah, when I get my like full background situation all figured out on Twitch and I finally get to take down the green screen, which is happening in the future, I'll probably wear that frog hat all the time. Yes. Taking down the green
You should
screen.
make it a redemption.
Because it was the
Redemption
karaoke
frog
for a cause stream.
Yeah.
I gotta say, because as the person who hath done the YouTube video for Cass, part 2 is still coming.
Yeah.
But I just gotta say, not only was that, I think, one of the best streams for all 4 of you ever, but that was the most fun that I have ever had editing a video for somebody else. It was so good. And originally we weren't planning on it being 2 parts. But there was literally so much. There's too much to work that I was like, we're capping out at 10 minutes. So thank you for that, because that was amazing. And just one of the best projects. It was perfect.
Yeah, I would love to bring back the karaoke stream. I think we had so much fun. All 4 of us. But like after the stream, we just all sat down on the floor and talked about how much fun that was. And like, because we also did the Just Dance stream too, which was fun. But we were also like, I think we had more fun doing the karaoke stream. So it's always nice to just like test and adjust and see what things really stick for us. So maybe, hopefully this year we can do another Pride karaoke event. Because we had a blast.
Yeah, no, I love it. I will be there, like, living for it. I mean, it was so fun, and like getting to like, especially since it was for charity, it was even cooler because like people were able to like tip you guys, but technically tip the charity too. So it was like a whole thing.
When it comes to charity for us, I think for all 4 of us, I can speak on behalf of it's so important like that people don't donate to us during that time. Like for charities, it's 100% to them. Like normally it would be like if you subscribe to me during a charity event, I might as well just give that subscription to the charity because it doesn't make sense for me to have this. We're not fundraising for my stream in this moment. We are fundraising for all of these great, wonderful people. Like this past year we did It Gets Better Project, which is one of my favorite people to do charities for them and to write Love on Her Arms. Obviously, we've done so many charities for them. And they have a special place in I think all of our hearts. So I hope to do so many more and meet so many more nonprofit organizations. There are so many out there. So to be able to just continue to do the work and have people recognize why we do it is really important for the next charity stream.
Yay!
Yeah.
And kind of while we're on the topic of Twitch stuff, I know like especially as gamers ourselves and everything, it always changes. But right now, at least, what would you say is probably your favorite game as far as whether that's on stream, off stream? What's the main one you're playing right now?
The Sims, no questions asked.
Yeah, I could answer that question.
The Sims is an easy, no cap. I've been playing The Sims ever since Sims 2, back on the PS2. I used to be a console simmer, and the fact that I even was able to do it is crazy to me, now playing on my computer. But it has always just brought me such a spark of joy being able to like create characters and create stories for people. And also the Sims community is one of the best communities on Twitch. I will stand by that for the rest of my life.
Hands down agree. Hands down.
Everyone is so nice. They're so kind. They're so generous. Like if you ever have a question or like if you need a hotkey help or anything like that, people are like, yep, I know exactly what to do and I know exactly how to help you. There's no competition in The Sims. You know what I mean? There is a constant feeling of like, oh, there are so many creators making these beautiful pieces of art on here, and I am not quite there yet. So there's a little sense of intimidation, but every single creator is more than willing to be like, this is where I got my CC. This is where I learned how to build houses like this, or like, oh, come to my stream. I could teach you this little quick trick on how to do this, that, and the other. So they're always willing to help, as opposed to like gatekeeping their information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that.
totally. No, I definitely think that too. Yeah. No, I love that. And I mean, I enjoy your Sim streams. I come and sit and watch your Sim streams and watch you build houses and things.
Yeah, because the thing is too, when it comes down to streaming, and this is something that I think that Baze and I have talked a lot about, and other fellow streamers like Devin and all of that stuff. But
Devin!
we've talked about like stream what brings you joy. It doesn't matter what game it is, as long as you are happy playing it, people will enjoy watching it. Streaming what you love to stream is very, very important. So I think I realized that after I did not get a lot of joy streaming a lot of the games that the community wanted me to stream. Like I always thought, oh, I need to cater to the community, right? But then there would be situations where like, okay, I'm going to stream this game that everybody wanted, and then I would log on and no one's there because no one's available, or, you know, life got in the way, which I totally understand. And it's not anybody's responsibility to be at streams, period.
Yeah.
But it got really disheartening because I'm like, well, this is what you wanted. How come there, you know, no one's here? So that I was just like, you know what, I need to start streaming for me. And that was when I think the kind of 180 flip happened, where it's like, oh, people are just showing up because they can now, but also too, I'm still enjoying what I get to play. Whether it's, I can play Sims for nobody. I can play Sims for 0 streamers and 0 viewers and still be happy. But also too, over the years, viewership doesn't matter to me anymore. I just stream to stream, and I stream to hang out with my community. So whether there's one person watching or 1,000 people watching, I'm happy either way.
Yeah, and that's something I've learned a lot from you guys, especially because that's something I really struggled with at first, and something that I still can kind of like catch myself falling into that hole a little bit. But seeing you guys kind of take that, especially like the post like heavy Dead by Daylight era and everything, has really helped a lot. Yeah.
And turning off your viewership numbers too is a huge thing.
I think it was either my first or second stream. That's all I had my viewership on. And then I couldn't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What were you going to say, Michaela?
I was just going to say, I think as naturally as people, we tend to have that feeling of like, I need to be able to see all of this, like this, what I'm doing is making an impact in that kind of way, and those things too. And so I think that was kind of like a main thing, like with Twitch. I mean, when I did stream on Twitch for the little short time that I did, but when I did that, I think it was very much a case of like, I was looking at it and going, oh, well, nobody's looking, like nobody's watching. And then I felt as a streamer that I was a performer, and that was me trying to perform for people, and when there wasn't people, I wasn't as energetic and I wasn't as happy and stuff like that too. Right. And I think I realized about probably my second or third stream in, I was like, it really doesn't matter how many people are watching. If I'm enjoying what I'm doing, then I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and that's just what it is. So
yeah, that makes streaming so much easier, and it also like builds for so much longevity, right? Like with all of us coming up on these stream anniversaries and everything, the fact that we've made it this long, and also knowing your cap, knowing your limit. Because stream breaks are very important, whether they're a day long or a month long, whatever you need to do to take that time for yourself, take it and run with it. And so it helped me at least being away from my computer, and not even having the option to stream, since I'm not going to go lug my computer back and forth from LA to San Diego. That's like a 3-hour drive. And with a very expensive equipment, I'm like, no. But it's given me time to not obsess over my stream and what I want for it, and like trying to make it as perfect as possible. Because to be frank, your stream's never going to be perfect. It's always going to be something that you want to work on. And so I didn't want to just like hyper fixate on that. There's a lot of like new, great, beautiful things that are happening in my life personally as well. And I want to make sure that I take and cater to those people that I love and care about, as opposed to spending all my time at my computer, which I used to love to do. but my computer was an escape for a while to put my headphones in and kind of forget about the world. But now, I was just talking about this on my Instagram yesterday of like my escape, which was normally my drive to work every week, used to be a time to just like sit in silence for a few hours and be like, okay, I can just relax for a second and I don't have to worry about the outside world. I'm in the confines of my car. But now that I'm leaving people at home that I love and care about so much, and I want to create and continue to build our relationships, it's been tough. But I still love what I'm doing. I love my career. So I think I said at the very end, like my heart and my soul are split a little bit. So it's tough. It's tough. And being a part-time streamer is, Twitch does not cater to part-time streamers. So we're trying
Don't
our
you know the
best.
half of it?
The big is like, I know, I got it.
Yeah.
And then
Oh my gosh.
I know we already asked this question as far as games go, but gonna kind of switch it over to like the performing and musical theater side. Obviously, I'm sure like it changes as you go on, but what would be like as to date, or even just right now, what is your favorite production that you have worked on?
That's very hard. Only because
I know.
Difficult question. I'm sorry.
It's a very, very difficult question, but I'm happy to answer it. Right now, it's kind of become a tie. My favorite show that I've ever done easily would have been Hunchback of Notre Dame, right? Because I got to play my dream role at my dream theater. I'm literally, no, this is the sweatshirt, not from that year, but it's one of them. And it's my home, my home away from home theater. It's my dream role, and I had the most perfect cast on the planet. Like, it was everything that I could have dreamed of doing for like playing Esmeralda. But just recently in the past year, that's this year's sweatshirt, I got to play Felicia Farrell in Memphis. And that show was one of the greatest experiences of my life. Getting to tell such a very important story, talking about race and the conversation of like interracial relationships and all of that kind of stuff. It was so important to talk about in last year when we were talking about it. But getting to play opposite one of my best friends on the planet, and getting to tell this story together, it helped us make the show even more beautiful, to the point where I got to be recognized and nominated for an award for it, which was huge. I didn't win, but it's an honor to be nominated. Okay. It's okay. It's an honor to be nominated.
It's okay.
Yeah. I was a little bummed about it at first, because I was like, I threw my life out there, and what more do you need? But I also recognize too that a nomination is just as strong as a win. So getting to celebrate the San Diego theater with some of my greatest friends out here, it was so nice to just kind of like sit back, relax, dress up all nice, and all that stuff. But yeah, Memphis and Hunchback are definitely tied right now, as far as like big regional theater productions that I loved. And there are a lot.
Nice.
I mean, Hunchback is such a beautiful story in the way that it's told through the music and stuff like that. I think it's stunning. Like, I don't think people give it enough credit.
Oh, absolutely not. It's one of the most slept on musicals in history. Just because there's such a weird relationship with the Victor Hugo novel versus the Walt Disney movie of it. And ever since the musical went to La Jolla Playhouse, not Broadway, unfortunately, but ever since it went to the La Jolla Playhouse, Disney revoked the rights of the name. So you couldn't say Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame. You just had to say Victor Hugo's, which it is his book. Because there was a darker story, and the book did not, or the Disney film did not follow the book ending. So it's a little different, which my mom didn't know. So that was...
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So the ending is a lot darker.
Gosh.
There are a lot of things that happen in the play or in the musical that definitely don't happen in Hunchback, the Disney film. Because Disney made a second film. They said, yeah, we're good. And Victor Hugo said, no.
They made it. Wait.
Yeah, there's a
How did I not know about this?
Yeah, there's a Hunchback of Notre Dame too, the movie. Quasimodo gets a love interest. It's like a whole thing.
Well, and I'm also sure that like the Disney version definitely sugarcoats a lot of things from the original, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
As we have learned with other tales that they've adapted.
Yeah, I will say though, they didn't really sugarcoat the conversation of Claude Frollo. I think he's very very real on both sides. And he's one of my favorite villains because his villainy is that he's a human. He has no quirks. He has no magic powers. He's just a guy. And he uses that power of just being a guy for evil. So that was a really cool talk that I got to have with our guy who played Claude Frollo. He's like my stage dad, like my theater dad here in the community. Aww. So it was always like anytime that we would have... because we had some pretty intense scenes together. As soon as the curtain went down or as soon as we left the stage or whatever, we would just hug because we were like, it's okay. This is not real. We still love each other. Everything's fine. Because like sometimes I would just walk off stage and be sobbing and he's like, it's okay. Just take a breath for a second. You're going to make it through. But it's a painful, painful story, but in the most beautifully tragic way. You know what I mean? I could talk about Hunchback all day.
I mean, it makes sense because, like, I don't know if I necessarily, like, slept on it, as you said, just because when I moved to my high school in my sophomore year, my high school was, like, national award winning for, like, their theater and everything. And it's, like, it was the first time that I ever saw, like, an actual, like, production. And we did Hunchback that year. And, like, it was... like my first like emergence into musical theater almost because again like very closeted kid growing up, like it was just very much not an option to go see to like finally see that, like it obviously like for high school it was like a little tweaked a little bit to make it a little bit more PG-13 but it's still I was like holy shit I get it now. Like it was amazing. Just spectacular.
It's a beautiful story musical wise. And musical-wise, in the way of, like, the way the music tells the story.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz's best.
Agreed.
Putting that duo together, they're, like, the modern-day Rodgers and Hammerstein. Like, they have created such beautiful works together, and apart as well. But that one especially, I think, in my personal opinion, one of the best scores in Disney history, period. I dare anybody on this podcast to fight me, not you two, but I'm talking about the people listening. If you have something else that you need to bring to the table,
they'll all be in the comments like, no, Ez is wrong.
They'll be like, Tarzan was the best. And I'd be like, I understand. Phil Collins did not have to go hard on that, but listen to the choral arrangement.
But listen. No, fully that.
Oh, God.
So you mentioned that Esmeralda was your dream role that you wanted to play. Do you have any other dream roles that you have not gotten to play that you would be so interested in playing?
Yeah, I've got a whole list. Elphaba has been my dream role since I was 12. I've been wanting to play her forever, and I now am surrounded by Elphabas, is what I call it now. Because I've become friends with such beautiful people in my life, and so I've been lucky to meet and get to know and become friends with Lindsay Heather Pierce, Emma Hunton, Eden Espinosa, Shoshana Bean. And to just to be in their presence is something so magical. And I have idolized all of them my entire life. Like I met Emma Hunton when I was 17 years old on the tour of Next to Normal, and now we are thick as thieves. And so it's like so strange to me. But yeah, I've loved Elphaba ever since I was a kid, and it was Ragtime was the musical that got me into musical theater. We could talk about that more later, but Wicked was kind of the conduit in between, where it was like, oh, this is something I see myself in. I'm this big, loud, brash singer who doesn't really know. At the point where back then I didn't really know how to control my voice a lot, and so when I heard people belting, I'm like, oh, that's me. I do that.
I did that too. Yeah, that was me too. Yeah. I literally didn't understand it, and then I was like singing one day, and someone else came up and they were like, "Oh, you're belting," and I was like, "I'm doing what now?" And they were like, "You're belting," and I was like, "Oh."
Which then, in reality, cut to me as an almost 30-year-old human being. I've been lying to myself this whole time. I've been mixing. I haven't been belting. I've been mixing this whole time. And I'm like, oh, this makes sense as to like longevity purposes, why I can still sing the things that I do sing. is because I haven't been like beating up my voice all those years. There was a chunk of time where I definitely was singing incorrectly, but after going to college and doing voice lessons and all that kind of stuff, I recognized that my mix is stronger than I thought. So yay for that, because then I can keep performing. But yeah, so Alphaba is definitely one of them. I would love to be the universal alternate in 6.
Ooh.
Yeah, I originally was very much a Catherine Parr person, because I Don't Need Your Love is one of my favorite songs in that show. But after auditioning for it a few times now, I've recognized that my soul is kind of connected to each of them in very specific ways. The only one, or like the one that's at the bottom of the list for me, unpopular opinion, the one that's at the bottom of the list for me is Kay Howard. I'm like, we're not the most connected.
Yeah.
But every other queen, I'm like, absolutely. Would I play Kay Howard? Of course I would. Cut to me, like,
You're like
2 years later.
Me apart, I'll do it.
Excited to announce.
I've been dreaming about it since I was 7. Like,
no, but honestly, like that's literally what happens sometimes, where you're like, I just, this one I just don't connect to, and then it's like 2 years later. So. And now
make it connect.
Yeah, that was how I felt about Anna Cleves. I didn't realize how much fun she was until getting to audition that role and getting to sing Get Down and like just be in that groove of things. Casting knew before I did that, like, of course I would be an Anna Cleves. It makes so much sense. Like, if you go back and watch the Star Kid videos from the Jangle Ball tour and VHS Christmas Carol compared to watching any Anna Cleves go on stage, it's like, oh, okay, there's this groundedness, but also this like grittiness to them, and I love it. And also the same with Anne Boleyn. Like, I didn't think I could be the funny one, and so after getting to perform that in front of the casting team, they were all giggling and having a good time while I was performing. And I'm like, oh, so I don't have to be the person that throws their guts on stage every night. Like, that's very good, very good. So.
Very good, great, lovely. Thanks so much.
I'm trying to think. Felicia Farrell from Memphis was also a dream role that I did get to play, so we'll check that off the list. Trying to think of some other ones. Oh, Eurydice and Persephone. I would want to be the cover for both.
Oh my gosh.
In Hades Town. Anais Mitchell really put her whole pussy into that. And Rachel Chapkin directing. It was just like one of the greatest pieces of musical theater of technically original work. In a long time, based off of a tale, right? Based off of mythology, but all of the music scripts original, et cetera, et cetera. But really, I think that's it, at least for now. Like, there are roles that I like, but they're not necessarily like, oh, I would do anything to play those, I think a lot of those have already kind of been hit, or there's like sleeper ones, like Kala and Tarzan for me. When I got to play that, I was like, oh, this is a great time. Heartbreaking, yes. I literally, again, threw my guts on stage. That's the saying that I use for a lot of the roles that I've played. They out here, they consider me a dramatic actor. But I love doing it. I love getting to put like my whole life and soul into some of these characters. And so getting to play that one was a lot of fun. But yeah, if any other dream roles come to mind, I'll just pop through in the middle of them.
I love that. You'll just be sitting there and just be like, oh yeah, I am this.
Yeah.
And then my next question, actually, we're going to get a little serious for a moment. We're going to bring it down. I almost kind of get a little bit emotional talking about it, but I do just want to ask you specifically, did Angela Bassett do the thing? I've been saying that this whole time.
And now you just yelled it, so now I gotta fix your audio. Jeez.
Sorry.
Angela Bassett always does the thing. Like, we had been knowing that. And my favorite thing was when she said it herself. She's like, I guess Angela Bassett did the thing, huh?
And I think Viola Davis might just be my woman.
I think
king,
she is.
You know?
I think she is. Yeah, honestly, big ups to Ariana DeBose, because she is getting so much flack over this, and it's like, is it campy?
It's iconic, and
it's absolutely campy. Was it not great? Yes, it can be both things. So it's just I feel terrible for her, because I know that it's probably been such a rough ride over these past couple days, and now to reveal that she's actually going to be presenting at the Oscars, it's just like, I would never be able to recover. Like, I would be embarrassed for the rest of my life and be like, you know what? I'm turning in my equity card. That's it for me. Thank you so much.
Oh, not the equity card.
Yep, I would Patty
Thank you so much.
I would Patty Lupone it for sure.
Yes, Patty Lupone.
Oh my
there
god!
You go.
But yeah, she's a champion for sticking through all of that. Because the funny thing is, like, the writers that wrote with Ariana on that project are still active on social media, and they very much are like, we know that you guys aren't like mad at this. We know that it's super camp and fun and whatever. We know that it's going to be a meme forever. But yeah, we know that you don't have any like negative things against us, regardless of how whatever people say online. So I sat with it for a while, and I was like, God, this is going to be an earworm. It's going to get stuck in my head forever. So I'm just going to be.
I can't escape it. I have not been able to, but. I do feel bad for her because, like, I genuinely, like, of course it's a meme, it's camp, but also it's, like, it's such a moment, and, like, she really went out there and, like, really tried to, like, make it happen. So there's some level, I just have to respect it on that level. Yeah. But also, I'm kind of happy it turned out the way it did because now it's just such this big moment, and now I didn't know she was presenting at the Oscars. Like, she now totally has this opportunity, like, totally, like, spin it and, like, take that power back
Absolutely.
with it. It's iconic. I can't talk about it enough.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is that going back to, like, Tony's, for example, when she hosted the Tonys and did Round of Applause, like, that opening was brilliant. It was so well done, so well written, so well produced, all of these things. But to now know with this, with the BAFTAs performance, that it was very rushed. They didn't have a lot of time to get all of this figured out, so they kind of just like wrote on a whim. And, you know, it just became a very quick rehearsal process to then just like jump on stage and do it. Granted, all of us performers can do things like that, but it doesn't always benefit us in the best ways. So,
yes, exactly.
I went down a whole rabbit hole with my partner the other day of being like, this is Ariana DeBose. This is her career. These are the performances that she...
Come on, PowerPoint.
Okay. And he was like, this is ridiculous.
He's like, nah, I don't think so.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. No, I love that. So you mentioned it earlier and also just now about Star Kid, but can you explain to people, for people who've been living under a rock, what is Star Kid?
Oh my gosh, Star Kid. So Star Kid came out when, funnily enough, when I was in high school, actually. It was like 2009, 2010, I believe. The Star Kids, let me know if I'm wrong. But that was around the time that I started watching them. My introduction to Star Kid was a Harry Potter musical, kind of like a lot of people. That was kind of the gateway drug for sure. But it's, for those of you who know Darren Criss from Glee, most famously, but also Hollywood and a bunch of other things that he's done. Also the co-owner of Tramp Stamp Grannies in Hollywood, which is where my burlesque troupe is doing their shows, so please come see it.
Yeah.
But Darren Criss was Harry Potter in the Harry Potter musical because they were all students at University of Michigan, and so they created like a troupe, a theater troupe that made musicals off of parodies of things. And Harry Potter was kind of the one that struck gold. Since then, they've created so many other shows, Twisted, Firebringer. They just recently did Nerdy Prudes Must Die. The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, any of the Hatchetfield series.
That was my intro, was Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals.
Yeah, my introduction was Harry Potter musical, but then I think after that was Firebringer, actually.
Yeah, Firebringer was after. For me, it was Harry Potter musical and then Firebringer.
Yeah, and I didn't see Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals and what's the other one I'm thinking of in my brain right now? It'll come back later.
Black Friday?
No, not Black Friday. I saw Black Friday virtually when it came out because my friend was in it, so I was like, "Yay!"
Nice.
But anyway, cut to now as a grown adult. A couple years ago, they were doing a production of VHS Christmas Carol. The year before, they had done it virtually, and the upcoming year, they were actually going to be doing it live for the first time. And so James Tolbert, who I work with at Disneyland, reached out to me and was like, hey, really weird question, but Brittany Coleman is unable to do our production this year because she's on Broadway. So we were wondering if you can audition to be in this piece with us. And so for all of you Star Kid folks who don't know, every Star Kid does audition for every show that we do. It doesn't matter what they've done before. They always will audition the performers to see what roles fit best for them. So it's not like they just get handed roles. That never happens. And I was like, sure, why not? And then I think to myself, I'm like, wait a minute, Star Kid. And I like kind of freaked out for just a quick moment. But then just before that was Black Friday, and one of my best friends from college was in Black Friday. That was her Star Kid debut. So I was like, okay, let me see what I can put together. So in the basement of the theater that I was going to be working in for VHS Christmas Carol, I recorded my audition. And it was like, I was in my pajamas. I had no makeup on. I was just a freaking mess. I had the lyrics on my computer. So like how you'd see me now, I would kind of gaze off to the side and look at the lyrics on the computer because I was still trying to learn them. It was a botched audition. I played it on my stream once, actually.
Oh my God.
And a couple days later, I get a text from James that was like, you crushed it. Like, everybody from the creative team keeps talking about how great you are. We're like, this is the offer. We're already so excited to have you. And I was like, oh, okay. But ever since that, I mean, the Star Kid community, I already know that the Star Kid community is so strong because I've been a member of it. But they have been so kind and so welcoming and so loving. And they're like, yeah, if Janaya can do it, you can too. But I was like, I did it because like I saw my friend Bryce do it. So the fact that she's been able to do it and I've been able to do it, we came from the same college, almost damn near the same hometown.
Wow.
Like we lived about an hour away from each other. It's crazy to me that like every time I see her, we just kind of look at each other like, wow, we really figured this out. Like cracked the code. So I hope to do another Star Kid show again soon, but that was a huge long ramble of the birth of Star Kid up until me getting into it.
No, that was great.
No, I love it.
Oh God.
And now people know what Star Kid is.
Yes.
And if you haven't gone and seen the stuff,
if anyone has not watched Star Kid, like I don't even know what else to say, but just go. Run, child, go over to the YouTube channel, go down the hole that we all have.
I mean, do it after you finish this.
Oh, yes, completely.
Yeah. Watch this and then...
But you know.
But yeah, Star Kid has all of their musicals, for the most part, available on their YouTube page. They try to keep as updated as possible. The only thing they probably don't have on YouTube is Nerdy Prudes Must Die, which there is a virtual ticket available, and it's only for the steep, cheap price of $15. So go and get it. You get 3 days of access to it. But then shortly after, probably in the next year or so, they will release it on YouTube for everyone to watch. But support Star Kid. Keep supporting us because the only reason why we're able to do things is because of the virtual tickets, is because of the merch, is because of the when we do get to do things live, the ticket sales and stuff. So that's kind of what's keeping Star Kid alive right now. So thank you for keeping them alive for 10 years, and so much so that I could also be a part of it too.
Love it.
And then my next question, just as we slowly start to kind of wrap things up here, just in general, because with Twitch, performing, everything, everywhere, all at once, in between, what advice would you have to young performers and streamers, just anybody looking to get into that?
Oh my gosh.
Who are now ushering out into the world looking to make this a career?
Honestly, it's just go for it. Don't be afraid to just get out there and do it. For my performers that are in not as accessible communities for theater, like any of the Midwest folks, international folks, it's easier than you think, because now with the pandemic, there has been a lot of introduction to virtual theater. There's a lot of that stuff that happens, and there are folks that are teaching virtual theater as well. So your options are open. For those that are in accessible cities, like BC is one of them. BC, New York, California, Chicago, Atlanta, et cetera, the world is your oyster. You can step outside and find something that you can be a part of. No questions asked. Seattle's another home as well. But being able to, you kind of have to put in a little bit of extra work for yourself, especially if you're just now starting out. Playbill.com is an excellent resource. Broadway World is an excellent resource, but it has all of the auditions that are in your area. You can kind of filter it to make sure that it's in your area or nearby. But like you guys will see Cass in their Discord talking about all the time. Like, I've just been scrolling through Playbill all day, trying to go through auditions and stuff like that. That's what we have to do as performers. And then for me, since I'm very California centric, A lot of these theaters out here know me or will refer to my agent or anything like that, so that I don't have to do that work as often. I still do it, but not as often with the help of myself and my agent. But it's just a matter of you have to start somewhere. I still to this day am a firm believer that there are no small parts. And just being a part of something is one of the most beautiful things that you can do to start those careers, because you learn so much too, right? If you're in the ensemble of a musical and you have like one or two lines, right? That was my first musical. I just got to watch everybody else. And that was where I learned, like, okay, so these are the things that you should do. These are the things that you shouldn't do. So that way I could become a better performer. And that's most of the time how you get better, is just by watching others, and being in a room with others as well. So, yeah, hello. I would just say, sorry, there was a full blown like car screech next to me. But yeah, honestly, just go for it. That's what I keep telling myself every day, is to keep going for it, because there are plenty of things that I would love to do. I'd love to book a national tour. I'd love to be on Broadway. I'd love to try out a new musical in a city of my choice. I don't know. I don't care where, really. But just never lose that flame of creating and performing. And if there's not something out there for you, make it. There are a lot of performers who have turned into writers, directors, producers, choreographers, all of it. The spectrum of this industry is so wide and so vast. So there are so many different places that you can find. And sometimes a lot of people that come into the industry wanting to perform end up realizing that it's not quite for them and they want to do something else. But they still want to do theater or film or VO or whatever. But like, even there's 3 huge subsections of this industry that you can get into and a part of. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I love it. No, I love that. That's great advice for sure. So as we wrap this up, obviously we want everybody to know where to find you. So what are your socials? What is your Twitch? Shout it out. Let us know.
Yeah. So you can basically find me everywhere on every social media platform at Esmerelduhhh. My Esmerelduhhh has 3 H's and a U, so do not be you'd be like, how do I spell this? You can find it on the thing or on any visual promo or stuff that we're doing there. I'm also on Twitch, Esmerelduhhh_, and I also have a gaming Instagram called Esmeralda Games. So once you find the personal account, it will take the gaming account, etc., etc. Also in there will be a link to my my Linktree account, and that's normally where you can keep up to date on like what actual shows I'm doing live. So if you would like to come see me, come meet me, you're more than welcome to do so, because I have them all sitting right there for you. And then if anything goes virtual or anything like that, I always love to let people know, because if you're not in the California area and you still want to see me perform, I try to push those as much as possible so that people can still have accessibility wherever you go.
I love it. All right. So I think that's all the time we have today, but we want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And we hope that everything that you do is successful and makes you happy.
Oh, thank you. And same to you guys. Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to see both of your faces. I think, Michaela, this is one of the first times I've seen your face. Like other than pictures, of course. But it's just so nice to catch up with you guys and be able to nerd out about musical theater and Twitch and all that stuff, because we all love these things together. So thank you for making my day a little bit brighter.
Of course, and you've made ours as well. Like I can't describe enough just how amazing you are. Like obviously I met you through cast and everything, and just like it's been so great. You're always the sweetest, and just always great talking with you, slaying bitches in Fortnite with you, and so on.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
All right.
Alrighty, well, I hope you enjoyed that wonderful interview. We've been through so many good interviews this season. It's kind of hard to imagine an end. Wink, wink,
That's true.
wink. If I cannot wink, please cut that out. But, yeah, I think, we've kind of been doing season 2. We kind of pulled the roots up and planted some new things and we're kind of feeling things out, but I think it's time for us to move on to season 3.
Yeah. So basically what DJ is alluding at is that this week is our second to last episode of season 2, and that next week is our finale for season 2. Yeah, we're really excited about that. We have a really cool guest who will be announced at a later time. But we have a really cool guest. Very excited about that. And then also we know we didn't take a break between season 1 and season 2. However, DJ and I have decided that between season 2 and season 3, we are going to take a 2-week hiatus for multiple reasons. One, because I am very busy and just need a little bit of a break and a little bit of breather, but also because we are going to be rebooting and changing up the format a bit of the podcast. We're going to try to mix a little bit of what we did in season 1 with a little bit of what we did in season 2. We've really enjoyed both seasons.
With a touch of new school.
Exactly. We've enjoyed both seasons, but we feel like there's some really good things from season 1 that we didn't take and put into season 2, and that there's some really good things that we got in season 2 that didn't end up in season 1. So we thought that we would just mash them all together. We just wanted to let everybody know that, and we hope that you are excited for next week's episode.
We're gonna turn up the juice and see what shakes loose.
Oh my gosh. DJ, can you take this seriously, please?
I am taking this seriously. You said we were going to mash them all together.
Wouldn't you say that our idea for season 3 is a mashup between season 1 and season 2?
Yeah. We are starting season 3, taking the 2-week hiatus. And yeah.
After next week's episode.
Yeah.
Let's clarify that for a second here. There will be one more episode next week that will be our finale for season 2. And then there will be a 2-week hiatus where you will not have an episode coming out on Sundays. Sad face. And then we will be back the week after that.
Yeah. So with all that being said, I think we are going to end this episode there. I hope you all have a amazing rest of your...
Wait, DJ?
Yeah, Michaela.
You forgot to tell everybody our socials.
I don't forget. I just kind of... Anyways, do you want to tell them about our socials?
Sure. So our Instagram is We Are So Not Straight Pod. Our Twitter is Not Straight Pod. Our TikTok, which if you've been paying attention to, I have posted on, so you should go check those out. Give those a like. More are coming. I am working on them. But please go follow us on there, which is We Are So Not Straight Pod. Just like our Instagram, I made it really easy for you guys to find us on there. So please go find us, give us a like, give us a follow, all of those lovely things over there. We would really appreciate it.
Share them with your friends.
Yeah, share them with your friends, your family, your strangers, anybody.
Your
anybody,
mail
really.
person, your dog walker's
your mail
neighbor's
person,
second
all those
cousin
people.
twice removed.
Exactly. Our YouTube channel, which is where you are right now. So if you don't know where you are right now, you should probably go talk to somebody about that, because you might be losing your mind. But that's okay. All right. Anyways, our YouTube channel is We Are So Not Straight Podcast. And that is where you can find all of our interviews from season 1 with the cast of Call Me Mother season 2, as well as all of our interviews from this season. There are some really great interviews. We have talked about family. We have talked about representation. We have talked about queer joy. There is pretty much something for everybody in these interviews. So you're gonna want to go check those out if you haven't. Also, if you could, follow us, subscribe to us, give us some thumbs up, support our videos and our channel, share our channel with your friends, family, strangers, all those individuals. That would be lovely.
And if you have that one lady who just joined a pyramid scheme and she keeps reaching out to you and is like, do you want to be a boss babe and join my team? Just send her a video.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we would really appreciate it. We're trying to get more people following us on YouTube, and so that would be a really great way for you to support us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, fits of rage, or suggestions, you can email us at wearesoNotStraight@gmail.com. All this information will be down in the description box below. Alright, DJ, you can finish the outro.
Okay, well, as I was saying before, I hope y'all have a fantabulous rest of your day, and we will see you all in the next one. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.